Plaintiff Tiffany Housley says the defendant is her brother, and after they left their mother's home, he started running the streets and was in and out of jail. Tiffany claims despite the fact that the defendant got his GED, he is still financially irresponsible, and she's suing him today for an unpaid loan and parking tickets. Defendant Jason Byrne says growing up, he and Tiffany lived completely different lives because she went to private school and he went to public school, and he ended up getting his GED while in jail. Jason admits that he owes Tiffany some money, but not the full amount she's suing for.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Tell me what happened.
Okay, firstly, I want to say I love my brother. He is awesome. He has always been a protector, and he's great. Just has a financial sense of a mouse in a corner under a cardboard box. And today, I mean...
He's always irresponsible financially?
Financially irresponsible, that's what it is.
Okay, he spent all his money on clothes, that's why.
Fancy.
That's a sharp sweater.
Thank you, sir.
He needs to return it.
No, I don't have one. I don't spend my money like that. That's expensive, isn't it?
Yeah, it was.
So no, I don't have one. I have 4 kids in college, 3 in law school. So no. So no.
That makes sense.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Well, we grew up in the same house with a single mother, and basically he got dealt worse cards than I did, I'll admit. So, you know, we lived in the same house, but when we left out the door, we went 2 separate directions. He kind of fell into the lifestyle that a lot of African-American men in poverty are accustomed to, ended up getting in the streets, going to jail, doing all that kind of stuff that I would have never, ever dreamed those things for him. And he's much, much better than that.
How did he do in school?
Well, he's super duper smart, but it's one of those things where the first time around in high school, he didn't finish. But I will say that when push came to shove, he went back and got his GED. Okay. It's just that after that, there has to be some more action to it. You know, it's one of those things you want to climb.
Why didn't he pursue that, to your knowledge? I'll ask him shortly, but why, to your knowledge, why didn't he pursue anything post-high school?
I think he wanted somebody to come and say, go to college, do this, get a job.
He needed to be inspired?
And this is one of the reasons I came here, because coming from me and my mom telling you, you know, do this, do that, I'm sure he feels like you've never been in my shoes. You've never walked the streets. You've never had to sell any drugs to get what you need for your family.
What part of town you all live in, and in what city?
Chicago, and we're from the west side.
All right. Is it crime and drug infested?
Yes.
And so let's do a little analysis here so that viewers will understand your statement about he got caught up and fell into the trap that many young black men do. That's why I was asking about his education. First, the pressure, because I've been there, I've lived that. Had to get my GED. The pressure of living in a drug and crime infested neighborhood, that you're either prey or you're the predator. And many young men don't want to be prey. So they have to fit into the predator mode. I'm the gangster, because if you're the square, you get victimized. Secondly, many young black men turn to those streets because they don't have fathers in their lives to teach them real manhood. And so instead, they get this twisted sense of manhood, thinking that crime and being tough is the way to prove your manhood, and then they end up in prison. And so they are unable to be fathers to their children. And then you have an education system that fails them, so that even if they want to do right, they don't have the tools to do the right thing because they've been in an education system that fails them. Like most urban areas have failing education systems. So there's a lot of things that caused him to go in that direction, no matter how smart he was. I was a smart kid, but I went the way of predator because I was tired of being victimized. I was victimized early in my life, living in the housing projects in Detroit, probably up until age 10. When I said, okay, I'm tired of them taking my jacket, I'm tired of them taking my gym shoes, so I'm going to go ahead and join up. And so that's the dynamic. I don't want people to be confused when you start talking about the failure of black men. They aren't born to be criminals. There's some circumstances. So let's just clear that up. But no more excuses. Let's hear from you. You tell me why you didn't fight through all of this. I fought through it.
All right, well, I'm going to start from the beginning and just saying that I love my sister too.
Oh.
Pride and joy, really. And I don't want to say it just making no sob story, but yeah, we did grow up in completely two different worlds. You know, like she had private school. I got my GED when I was in prison, actually. So, you know what I'm saying? And I say that to say that I'm trying. I don't want it to be confused, and I'm not trying to do better.
What are you trying?
Well, right now I work a part-time job. That's all I can get. It's just like you said. It's not a lot of.
All right. Why haven't you pursued something beyond GED?
I got 2 kids. It's more important to put the food in their mouth right now. That's
Part-time work?
That's the only work I can get.
Now we know, I just told you, and you understand the dynamics of growing up in the ghetto. But you have your GED. Now, you can go to community college, you can go to a university, you can go to trade school. I went to a major university with a GED, worked at McDonald's full-time the first 2 years, 40, 50 hours a week. I was an assistant manager by the first year of working there. So all this you can't take care of nobody on a part-time job. Only way you're going to take care of these kids properly in a manner that will allow them to live outside of drug and crime infested areas is for you to elevate yourself beyond the GED. And I don't have the money. I can't go to college because I don't have the money. That's what they have grants for. And people who have dependents such as yourself, they will get more of a grant. And if you do that, sir, then you'll elevate yourself to be able to take care of your kids and not have them come up in the same kind of condition you came up in. All right?
Yes,
all right.
sir.
So that's what you need to be doing. And I don't want to hear no excuse. I'm going part-time. You know, women, they'll work 3 part-time jobs and raise kids and go to college. So, and they suffer the same circumstances, living in drug and crime infested neighborhoods, unprepared by the school system. The only difference is they don't punk out and run to the streets. They don't punk out. So, I'm trying to give you some insight as to how you can man up and go through what you've been through, overcome that, and enhance your education and thereby enhancing your quality of life. These unpaid loans. So what do? You work full-time, part-time, in college?
Yep, I'm a full-time real estate agent and I go to school full-time.
Right, you see? Go ahead. Unpaid loan, how does he owe you for this $3,000?
So in March of 2006, him and his girlfriend at the time, they had just had a son, came to me and asked me if I could help them with their rent money. They had previously borrowed some money from me, so this time I decided to get a promissory note. And like I said, I think Jason is so very, very smart that I didn't want to just give him money. I wanted to really show him how to budget, because you will never get anywhere if you spend all your money at one time and then you don't got money for rent and you want to buy gym shoes. So what I did was I sat down with both of them. Not only did I get them to sign a promissory note, which I'll show you, but I worked out a budget so that they could pay their rent, their bills, and pay me back. Over 6 weeks, they were both working. And they looked at you
like you were from outer space, didn't they? What is she talking about? Budget? Don't you know, time we get some money, we have to go to Gucci? What are you talking about? This is Nike money. Ma'am, you understand certain elements in the street. They want to floss clothing to make them feel better about themselves because they live in communities that are downtrodden. So to make them feel good, they Gucci down and don't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out. So, let's see. Sir, she's going to give me a note saying that you agreed to pay. Now, what about the parking tickets?
Now, in the end of October of 2009, I was going out of town, so he said, you know what? Can I rent your car for a week? I said, I'm going to be out of town, so go ahead, yes. So he said, I'll give you $150 to use your car for a week. He gave me the $150. I was like, wow, should have stopped while I was ahead. Came back the next week. He was like, well, can I rent your car for another week for another $150?
How many weeks did he keep it totally?
He kept it 3.5 months.
Oh my goodness. How much in tickets did he accumulate?
$2,432.
Unbelievable. Sir, what do you want to tell me about this loan and these tickets?
In March 06, me and my ex-girlfriend, we did ask her for the money to help pay the rent. But I was working at the time. I had a good job at the railroad. It wasn't really has being made seem like I'm.
Why'd you have to borrow money then?
I had broke my hand while I was. I was off work for 2 months.
Okay.
So I couldn't pay. But by the time that I was able to get back, this was around the time.
All right. So you borrowed that money. Why shouldn't you repay it?
It's not that I shouldn't repay it. I just don't owe $600.
How much do you owe?
I would say half of it. Both of us.
This
signed
says 600. Oh, so you're throwing your woman under the bus.
It though, right? Yes or no?
You're
Both of us
throwing your woman under the bus.
I'm not throwing woman under the bus. The other person that signed the.
I understand. And let me inform you of the law. You keep trying to blame it on her. Whenever two people sign, she can sue either one or both. She has chosen to sue you. She could have chosen the other girl. She could have chosen both of you, in which case it would have been split. But in this case, she didn't think she wanted to have you all split it. What about these parking tickets, sir?
Now, as far as the parking tickets go, the parking tickets I got that I know I got, like for a red light or parking in the wrong spot, I gave her some money for that. The rest of the tickets, not for parking and stuff like that. It's her car. She was supposed.
Who accumulated the tickets? Were you using the car?
But they're city stickers. That's her car.
That means you don't move it then. Or you put it in a driveway, or you give it back to her. You don't let it sit there and accumulate tickets under your possession. You say, oh, she doesn't have stickers. Let me get her this car back because I don't want to get a ticket.
So then
she doesn't have tickets. Let me put this car in the garage so when the police come by, they don't write me a ticket. Sir, I'm not going to let you go back and forth with me with your twisted logic. I'm going to grant her judgment for $3,032. Good luck to you, sir. Have a good day.
It's going to be good because I got my money. We're going to start from zero, and we're not going up no further from that.
Right. That's about it. I can't believe you just...
I love my brother, though.
I love my sister, too.
What can I say? Money is money, though. Money doesn't have siblings. They're called Benjamins, and you owe them to me.